We are now 2 days into free agency and the start of the league year, and it's been wild to say the least. Tom Brady is a Buccaneer, DeAndre Hopkins is a Cardinal, Stefon Diggs is a Bill, and there are 2 Watt brothers now in Pittsburgh. In today's video, we're going to break down the big offseason moves so far, so before we get started, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now let's begin. We have to start the video off with the GOAT. Tom is leaving New England to go to the Bucs of all teams, and of course following this is the speculation of will Tom win a ring without Bill, or will Bill win a ring without Tom? Tom goes to a team with 2 very good wide receivers, and they are the best duo in football in my opinion, in Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Chris Godwin is just 24 years old and the sky is the limit for him. He is coming off of an 86-catch, 1,300-yard year, and I'm sure he is very happy to hear Tom is going to be his quarterback. Tom has been in the NFL since before Godwin was in elementary school, so to say there's a respect there would be an understatement. Evans, on the other hand, has 6 1,000-yard years to start his career, and very well could be on his way to the Hall of Fame, or at minimum get very close to it. The quarterbacks Mike has had to throw to him for his entire career are Josh McCown, Mike Glennon, and Jameis Winston, so to say the least, he's getting an upgrade at the quarterback position. For the first time in a long time, the Bucs look like legitimate contenders, and they are without a doubt looking to hit 10 wins in a season for the first time since 2010. I'm also personally looking forward to Tom versus Drew twice this upcoming season. DeAndre Hopkins is now a Cardinal, and Texans fans, I'm sorry, but this was an awful trade. I don't know why Bill O'Brien was ever moved into the role he is now to conduct trades, and certainly not ones of this manner. This is a franchise-changing decision, as they now have no true number 1 wide receiver, as I don't think Will Fuller is a number 1 wide receiver by any definition. To have at worst a top 3 or 4 receiver in football in his prime, coming off of back-to-back 100-catch, 1,000-yard seasons, and only get a second-round pick and a one-season wonder running back is abysmal. Kyler Murray has to be one happy man now, knowing he will be at the helm of an offense that consists of DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, Andy Isabella, Christian Kirk, and Kenyon Drake. I would imagine the Cardinals at 8th overall now in the upcoming draft take the best offensive tackle from there and go on. This will be a very fun team to watch in the upcoming years, there's no doubt about that. They got an absolute steal in DeAndre Hopkins. Stefon Diggs is now a Bill, and as most of you know, I'm a Vikings fan, so this one hurts to see him go. However, from a business standpoint, the Vikings got a great haul for Diggs, and the Bills are getting a very good wide receiver in return. To me personally, I could never understand why Stefon wanted out of Minnesota so bad, but my guess is after the 2017 season, he realized it was always going to be Thielen and Diggs and not the other way around. Now Stefon will get his chance as the clear number 1, and he will go to Buffalo with the young quarterback in Josh Allen and try and deliver Buffalo their first Super Bowl title. This was a great addition for the Bills, as they are selecting at pick 22 in the draft, or were, and they didn't have a chance at a player like Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb, and even those 2 wouldn't be Diggs in year 1. I think both teams benefit from this trade, but I do think Stefon will most definitely get upset with Josh Allen at times, as he is a young quarterback, which translates to growing pains, and I think at times Stefon will realize how good he had it in Minnesota. The next headline we'll discuss is all of the Dolphins' acquisitions. First, I love the Byron Jones signing, as they now have 2 great corners with Jones and Xavier Howard, and with Stefon Diggs new to the division, they will need as much secondary help as they can get. Assuming they take Tua in the upcoming draft, and their future looks insanely bright. They have 3 first-round picks and will get this young team even better than what it already is. I was not a huge fan of the Kyle Van Noy signing, as they paid him nearly $13 million per year for 4 years. To me, Van Noy represents the typical New England free agent pass rusher that doesn't necessarily produce elsewhere other than New England, as he has just 15.5 career sacks. Miami is bringing him in to boost the pass rush, and I just don't know if paying $13 million per year to Van Noy does this. Flores is of course a Bill Belichick product, but to expect Van Noy to produce 10 or 12 sacks every year for the next 4, to me, just is not a reality. They also signed Shaq Lawson from Buffalo to a 3-year, $30 million deal, and I like this more than Van Noy's deal because they didn't overpay, and it's a shorter contract than Van Noy's. I also wouldn't expect Lawson to produce 10 to 12 sacks per year every year, but Lawson definitely has a higher floor than Van Noy, just in my opinion. The one signing I did not like at all for them was Eric Flowers. Yes, Flowers had a good 2019 season, but that was followed by awful seasons from 2015 through 2018. I realize someone would have paid Flowers something because he was good in Washington in 2019, but I would have preferred a 1-year $14 million deal versus a 3 for $30, just in case he reverts back to the player he was in New York. If the deal works out for Miami, then good for them. I'm just not a huge fan of this specific contract. The Colts traded for DeForest Buckner, and honestly, I really like this move for them. General Manager Chris Ballard has done a great job so far with the Colts, and I think this proves to be another good move. Buckner was a critical piece behind the 49ers' success this year, and ultimately them getting to the Super Bowl, and he is just 26 years old. Ballard killed all rumors of them potentially drafting a quarterback in the first round this year by signing Phillip Rivers, and although I started this off by saying I like what he's done for the most part as a GM, this is just a move I can't get behind. Phillip was not a good quarterback in 2019 no matter how you slice it, and he showed signs of age, and I just don't think this is a good signing for the Colts. If they are planning to get Trevor Lawrence in 2021, then I think this is the right way to go, but I'm not a fan of Phillip to lead my team after 2019 season, where his passer rating dropped 17 points in 1 year. He threw 9 less touchdowns in 2019 than 2018, 32 to 23, and he threw 8 more interceptions in 2019 than he did in 2018, going up from 12 to 20. The next two things we'll discuss is the Ravens fleecing the Jags for Calais Campbell. They traded a 5th round pick to get him, and Campbell has been a Pro Bowler in 5 of the past 6 seasons. The Ravens got absolutely torched by Derrick Henry in their only playoff game this year after going 14-2, and they are doing everything in their power to make sure this does not happen again. I cannot emphasize enough how good of a deal this is for the Ravens, as they are without a doubt doing everything they can to get a Super Bowl during Lamar's rookie contract. General Manager Eric DeCosta has already proven to be one of the best GMs in the league, and this is yet another fantastic move by him. They also signed veteran defensive lineman Michael Brockers, who will be a solid contributor and only help their run defense. They also dealt Hayden Hurst for essentially a 2nd round pick, and to get that kind of value for him is insane. I think the Ravens make out much better on this end of the deal than the Falcons do, but only time will tell. The next move we'll discuss happened when I was recording this, so this is why I'm getting to this so late in the video, but the Bears traded for Nick Foles. Obviously, we know Mitch hasn't worked out great, and to make matters worse, both Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson were drafted after him. The way I imagine this will work out is Foles will be quarterback competition for Mitch, and that they will draft another quarterback in the 1st round next year, or try and have a stopgap quarterback kind of like Foles is now. I think the problem with either Mitch or Nick Foles is they're not good or great by any stretch of the imagination. I'll get to Nick in a second, but they're going to be too good to get the Bears away from Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. Mitch as a starter was 8-7 in 2019, and no 8-win team is going to be even close to getting the number 1 or 2 overall picks. Nick Foles, on the other hand, is 21-11 as a starter for the Philadelphia Eagles, but he is just 5-11 when starting for any other team. I don't think the Bears do anything of note this year in terms of playoff success, but they will probably be at minimum a 6 or 7 win team, putting them far out of reach for either Lawrence or Fields. The problem for the Bears now is they traded away the 2020 first round pick for Khalil Mack, and yes, Mack is an outstanding player, don't get me wrong, but this is where trading for a player like that can hurt a team. Unrelated, but I also think we'll see this next year with the Rams and Jalen Ramsey as well, and how this will hurt their draft stock down the road. The final move we'll discuss in today's video is the Cowboys' moves. The Cowboys, no matter how you slice it, had to pay Dak Prescott, and they gave him the franchise tag. The Cowboys need to pay Dak now, as the longer they wait, the more it's going to cost them in the long run. The Titans and Ryan Tannehill agreed to a $118 million contract, and while the Titans are heavily protected in this contract if Tannehill doesn't pan out, the Cowboys need to pay Dak big money soon. Prescott finished 2nd in the NFL in passing yards in 2019, 4th in passing touchdowns, and 4th in completions. He was a top 5 quarterback in the NFL in 2019 no matter how you slice it. The Cowboys have a clear franchise quarterback and need to pay him before Patrick Mahomes completely resets the market for that position. Amari Cooper got a 5-year, $100 million deal, and I'm not a huge fan of that because I think $20 million per year is a lot for a receiver, but they did get their guy. And they almost had to pay Amari after trading a 1st-round pick for him, as had they let him go, they would have given up a 1st-round pick just to play 25 games for their franchise. There was a lot to cover for today's video, and that's all I have, and I'll do another recap video soon on other things that have happened, such as the Browns signing Austin Hooper to a huge deal, and the Broncos getting an absolute steal of a player in Jarrell Casey for only a 7th round pick. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.